Avatar, The Path to Peace. Part 1. A New Home. Jake stared at the huge, fractured mass that was once Hometree. The forest around it had been reduced to ashes by the fires, devastating the area the Omatikaya had built their lives in. They would have to find a new home, and as the clan's new leader, it was up to Jake to take them there. He and Neytiri had spent the days following the final battle flying around the region, noting areas that could be suitable for their people. The Omatikaya were growing impatient. They were grateful to Jake for the part he played in protecting them and their home, and had universally accepted him as their leader. But living at the Tree of Souls grated on them. It was seen only as a temporary refuge, meant for times of great strife, and no Na'vi would accept residing alongside it permanently. Jake knew his clan well enough now to know that they placed huge importance on being surrounded by the right trees at the right time. For the same reason, they could not live just anywhere. Hometree had held great significance due to its size and long history with the Omatikaya. It was his job to find an equally awe-inspiring place around which to rebuild their lives. Jake studied his hands for the 100th time as he sat up late, on the 6th night after Iowa had granted his wish. His avatar body was now his only one. Looking at his human form, alive but only as an empty shell, had confused him. What would he do with it? Should he keep it alive, in case he needed his DNA for some reason one day? No, he couldn't. To hold on to his old body was to hold on to his old life. He was Na'vi in every way. The body would be buried, giving its nutrients back to Pandora. Neytiri rose from where she had been sleeping in a nearby leaf hammock. She strode over and knelt down beside him, folding him into her long arms. Jake brushed his cheek against hers as he began listing considerations in a whisper. We need to be near fresh water. We need somewhere clear enough to take us all, so we don't do any damage. We need to be far enough from the human base that they don't bother us, but not too far, so we can keep an eye on things. We need... He paused as Neytiri kissed his neck. My Jake, she said softly, you are thinking with your head. You must think with your heart. Jake sighed. She was right, of course. He had been approaching the problem as he had been trained, as a Marine would. It was time to think like one of the people. He cleared his mind and closed his eyes. He listened to the sounds of the forest, to the sound of Neytiri's soft breath in his ear. He inhaled deeply and let go. Within seconds, or it could have been minutes, the answer came to him. The date pool, he muttered. As soon as the thought formed, he knew it was the right answer. On the other side of the humans' base to Hometree, an area the miners had been uninterested in, the forest remained pristine. A lazy river ran through it, feeding the trees with rich spring water and making them grow huge. Neytiri had taken Jake there once, and they had splashed each other playfully in the pool below a small waterfall. After that, he had always referred to it as the date pool. He wasn't sure if Neytiri knew what he'd meant, but the memory was fond to him. He recalled seeing a giant tree nearby, with a wide web of thick interlinking branches high above the ground. The branches would be perfect for sleeping among, and the tree an ideal centre of the clan's social network. Very good, my Jake, Neytiri said, kissing him again. She remembered.